Good morning and welcome to a new episode of the Check-In, which is a little section of the Framework podcast where we check in with one of the frameworkers at home in isolation right now, pretty much like everyone else on the planet. Today with us, we have Natalie Ellis.
Hi,
how are you?
I am good. I am aware that my dishwasher has just started. But let me know. I thought it had finished, but let me know if the sound is... bothers
It's
you.
fine. It's absolutely fine. And it might be one of the first episodes with two guests then. We will reserve some questions for the dishwasher that I'm sure it's getting used more than normal.
Oh my, I literally feel like my life has become a cycle of just the dishwasher either being on or requiring unloading. That's all my life revolves around now. Just me and the dishwasher.
Yeah, it is one of the stable points in our life now. There are a few things like the dishwasher and other that are just working, and we know it's another day because we have to redo that action. It's the same with us. It's four of us living together, and usually we have lunch and dinner at separate times during normal times, and now it's just load the dishwasher, unload the dishwasher all day. I feel you.
Yeah.
Do you live by yourself, or do you have
I do. Yes.
Oh, okay. So you're one of those people. How are you holding up living by yourself?
I'm great. I love it. I feel like I've been preparing for, I feel like my life has until this point has been leading to kind of enforced isolation. It's just, before it was voluntary. I guess now there's a little bit of, because previously it was voluntary. I guess that felt like a choice, whereas now it feels less like a choice. It's not quite so much fun. Generally I'm pretty happy on my own, and I've been enjoying isolation. So I have a fairly comfortable prison. So
That's great. You're one of those people that respond to those memes about isolation, social distancing. I'm yep, it's been my whole life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's just been, I'm absolutely fine on my own. My sister lives around the corner as well, and she just turns up and lets herself into my house now and then. So that's quite nice. Yeah.
That's
nothing
good.
Awkward so far. So
having a break from being completely by yourself, I'm sure it feels good, even for someone that enjoys, let's say, solitude.
Yeah.
Every now and then having a different voice and hi, I'm sure it feels good.
Yeah, it's good. And there are a few people that I've kind of been going, for socially distant walks with, and so there's a few people that I've been catching up with. So I'm not completely on my own, but it's just it's not a big issue for me to be on my own, and
lucky you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love my flat, and I live next door to a park, so it's good. Yeah.
Great. And have you felt that obviously to some extent, but to which extent this whole situation affected your work life? Has it changed much?
Look, it has in terms of, I was already remote, so I worked for a startup, and, I was already kind of on my own in Melbourne anyway. So the interactions that I haven't changed. Definitely kind of had, we depend on people's marketing budgets, and clients have just kind of, everything. So a lot of things are kind of up in the air, I guess, which is to be expected. And we've kind of just planned for that to be the case. So we're definitely seeing I've got a few interesting projects on at the moment, and we're doing some comms testing for kind of COVID comms for
nice.
A couple of things, which is interesting to see how some brands are playing it. So yeah.
Well, something that I've been talking about with a lot of people, especially during these check-ins, is the fact that one of the big changes that probably is affecting the work world right now is mostly the difference in communication. People will have to embrace distant communication and Zoom chats and all of those things a lot better. And the remote working will become a lot more of the norm. Instead of feeling that, I don't know, not at ease with it. I'm sure your startup is if they have you in a different country doing remote working, then they are used to that kind of protocol. But most things, I was talking with Paula a few days ago, and she's a video editor, and she was telling me that a project that she's working on, she had to fight a lot for people to trust in her being a remote editor.
Exactly,
and now it's just yes, of course, it was the best choice ever. We'll never do anything different ever again. So that change is definitely happening.
And it's interesting because we're actually doing some research with companies kind of internally to find out kind of, how connected people feel and kind of what the impact has been. And it is interesting. There's definitely, you can tell a lot about company culture but to the extent at which it kind of trusts its workers and kind of, the extent to which they're happy for their, and they see the benefits versus kind of that micromanaging sort of, wanting to keep an eye on their workers all the time. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of positivity in terms of people's work-life balance that can come out of this. Yeah, as long as you can learn to effectively manage. I mean, I say that as someone who lives alone and has no distractions. So yeah.
You're the perfect case. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but if I had to manage like kids and husbands and things like that, that would be harder, I think.
Yeah, well, like I imagine, like if we apply it to today, where like we're still very much locked in, then yes, obviously, like it becomes very difficult to manage like family life and work life and all of that. But in the foreseeable and hopefully very soon future, like we're gonna see people that maybe like, I don't know, are working for a company as you are in Melbourne, and the company is based in insert here place, and that's gonna be a lot more easy, and people are gonna be more used to it. So I don't know. I think if anything, closing down everything kinda opened a possibility for the world to be a lot smaller than it actually is.
Yeah, and I think like that's it. I guess the fact is that this has happened, so you can either choose to see the good or you can choose to see the bad, right? And for me, I don't know, I'm very much just about seeing the opportunity that comes with that and kind of how you can change things for the better.
Same.
So, yeah.
At least trying to. I feel like every now and then I do an exercise and I go like, what if I let myself drown in despair? And you like look at it for 5 minutes. You go like, no. Like something good will come out of this. Let's keep it at that.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'm kind of very stoic about the whole thing. I think you just kind of do what you can and seize whatever opportunities come your way and kind of just try and see the good in it, I guess. Yeah.
100%. What about like, let's not talk about work for a second, but mostly like your everyday life. So like one of the things that I found out is that a lot of people implemented little changes in their lives because they have more time, or they're like stuck inside and they have to keep themselves entertained, and they have more energy and focus to give to smaller things around them. So like a lot of people like picked up cooking or baking, or I don't know, started doing like morning walks or cold showers, and there is like the list goes on. Yeah. And so like if you implemented something new in your routine to like kind of make you work better, make you function better or something like that?
So I was already a really like morning person anyway. So I was always up and kind of doing exercise. So I would swim train, or I would be going to kind of Bikram yoga first thing anyway. But I've kind of switched to going outside. So getting up and I've become obsessed with Wim Hof and Wim Hof breathing. So in cold showers and stuff. Like I figure he was giving away his 10-week course for half price. So I thought, sod it, like what else have I got to do? So I've become obsessed with Wim Hof. And so I do that kind of the breathing and stuff first thing. And then I'll go for a run, walk. I'm doing a 30-day burpee challenge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, supposedly with my brother, although I seem to be the only one that is.
Are you doing like enough burpees for both of you?
Yeah. But oh my God, like 100 burpees a day for 30 days. And within 100 burpees a day. And I really struggled the first kind of week. And now, like my fitness is just doing 100 burpees a day. It like takes
skyrocketed
10 minutes. It's just crazy, like how much my muscle tone and fitness has changed within like a couple of weeks.
Like it's funny you mentioned that. I was just talking to another person about it this morning. I picked up doing 100 push-ups a day. And so like I'm starting to like get that, like the first 2 or 3 days were like, oh, this is not good. And then I'm starting to like enjoy the results and like the feeling of it. And I'm thinking like, oh, can I do 150? Yes, I can. Come on, I can do it. Like if I just like add 25 at the beginning, 25 at the end, I can do it, and so on. So I'm starting to like open up to like more things. And I love the idea of the repetition on a daily basis, because workouts require you to commit. Whereas burpees, push-ups, you can do like 30 burpees before you get a glass of water. Done.
Exactly. Well, 100 burpees now takes me 10 minutes, and
Oh, you do them all together?
I do them all together. Yeah.
You crazy person.
Yeah.
Like,
I just do them all together. But when I
wow.
first started, I had to do them in batches of 10, like, and then take a kind of a bit of a rest in between each one. But yeah, now I'm pretty much like, I still have to stop a little bit, but yeah, it takes me, I can do the whole 100 in about 10 minutes now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's really good for your fitness. So yeah, no, I think it's definitely something I'll keep up. Like, I feel like my fitness has gotten better, and all I'm doing now really is just walking and doing 100 burpees a day.
I feel like there is at least 4 or 5 people that once all of this is over, we're going to go back to framework, and just like randomly midday, there, like a few people will start doing like push-ups and burpees and stuff. There's going to be a moment, like a ticking clock that goes like, and everybody starts just like doing them. That would be a fun
I
sight.
feel like we're just going to go back, like, I'm just going to be ripped. It's going to be great.
Yeah, like everyone will be super fit. But speaking of which, like, I have to do like a little bit of the background research every time with people before the check-ins, not because I want to like know all your secrets, but even just for the fact that I have to find a picture to then cut out and put like at the little preview when the video comes out, right? And I noticed, and I kind of knew this about you, that like you're very sporty. Like all of your pictures, you're on a quad, or you're like climbing, or you're doing something. So like a very outdoorsy person, right?
Yeah. The quad bike picture is funny because I think people think I'm sporty, but I'm actually very drunk when I was on that quad bike. So
still counts. Still counts.
Yeah, and that's like, I guess that's the thing I'm starting to struggle with now. I spend a lot of my weekends like outside of Melbourne. I spend a lot of time like hiking and kind of camping, and just the beach kind of, and I am outdoors a lot. So that's kind of the thing that I am struggling with the most, apart, like, not really the people thing so much, but the outdoor thing.
So like tomorrow they lift up the restrictions. Let's imagine it's a good dream to have.
Yeah.
What is the first thing you go and do?
I'm really, like, my plan is to actually, as soon as I can, I'm actually probably going to like just rent like a cabin or something, or like a holiday cottage somewhere up in the Victorian high country, and I'm just going to disappear up there for 2 or 3 weeks.
Wait, how does this work? Like, you're finally free from isolation and you're going to go and isolate somewhere different?
Well, I mean, I can invite a couple of people. I'd rather have people come and visit me for a couple of days and then go away, rather than someone there for the entire time. But
in a million years, I never thought anyone would give me this answer. This is the best.
Yeah, I did think about doing it before we went into lockdown, and I regret not going, actually. But yeah.
Like you didn't know how long we were going to be in this for. Like, you might think like, oh, it's just going to be 2 weeks. I'm going to rent a place. And then it turns out to be 6 months. And you go like, could have planned for it better. Yeah.
And my plans would have died. So, I think I just need to get out of the city for a bit. Like, I think.
I feel, and like in my case, even though like I'm an extremely extroverted person and I need people around me, even though I live with 3 people, so it's plenty of interaction. Like, it goes to the point where like you know each other too well, even though we're like really good friends and stuff, and you kind of want to get a break from each other. And it's very normal. So like sometimes I find myself daydreaming of like, if I could just get like 1 day at a cafe that is not in the same suburb, that would be amazing. If I could like spend 1 night in Framework, not 1 day, because maybe someone is there, but just like 1 night, just being there by myself. And then I go like, I'd be miserable after 2 hours. This is just my brain trying to find a solution rather than actually looking at what I need.
No, I think I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be kind of very extroverted and want people around all the time, so I can't.
Said a person that is in a co-working space with a lot of people around her.
And
I feel like we all annoy you at some point.
I feel like it's nice to have the option, I guess.
Yes. No, I hear you. Yeah. You're from the UK, right?
I am, yeah.
Is everyone back at home fine?
Yeah, at the moment, yes. So my sister's actually here, and then I have 2 brothers. One of whom's a paramedic. So
we call them heroes now.
Yeah, apparently so. It's actually for him. It's funny because there's all of the crazy people have stopped calling. Crazy people that call ambulances that don't need ambulances have actually stopped. So.
That's great.
They're scared of letting him. Yeah, exactly. So he's actually reduced his kind of crazy workload. But yeah, so he's not allowed, and his partner's a dentist, so they're not allowed to see. They've got to isolate themselves basically, so they're not allowed to see family or anything. Yeah, and it is, there is that kind of little niggle in the back of your head that's kind of, that, I do worry the UK is obviously in a much worse situation, but there's nothing I can do. And so there's no point in me spending, like, I very much try and make a point of not worrying about things that I cannot control.
Yeah.
Because it's just a road to kind of despair and madness. So, I kind of you just have to deal with things as they come up.
As they unfold. Yeah, for sure. And what you talked about is an exercise that I'm sucking at, because obviously like half of my day, I would say at least, I think about Italy and I feel in Italy with my partner, my family, all being there. You kind of like, you always have like 2 feet in 2 different shoes.
Yeah.
And so like when things go well here, I kind of feel like uplifted. And then I read the numbers and I go like, oh no, it's still a disaster. And when things go well there, I kind of look at here and goes like, oh, nothing is changing. So it's kind of weird. Like I have to find the right balance there.
Yeah. I guess, it's, it must be a really hard thing for you as well, kind of with family on the other side of the world and no way of, it does make you feel kind of, I never really felt like I was on the other side of the world before, but now I definitely feel like I'm on the other side of the world. If anything happens, that's it. I can't get, like, I've missed my brother. Like, my brother was supposed to get married in April, not a couple of weeks ago, and they've moved the wedding to October. The likelihood is I'm not going to make that. So, depending on what happens with travel. So,
but we're going to be positive and we're going to think that in October you're going to be in the UK and everything will be fine.
It's just you realize kind of how big the world is when things like this happen.
Especially like one thing that having had the luck of traveling so much, one thing that I was taking for granted was the freedom of movement. Yeah. It was basically dependent on money. Yeah. If you had the money, you could jump on a plane and go. Whereas like for the first time in my adult life, and I don't remember about my my like children life, but I kind of like, I can't do it. So even if I wanted to desperately and I had all the money in the world and you're stuck. And that's a feeling that sucks, I feel.
Yeah, it does. Like, and I guess it's that kind of feeling of freedom and choice, right? That's kind of taken away from you a little bit. And I think that's the hard thing to deal with, not necessarily the actual situation itself, but the feeling that, you have, some semblance of control. Yeah, like
it's a choice in the control, as you said.
Yeah.
Very true. Well, like last thing that I'm going to ask you, because I'm interested, a few people like brought this up during check-ins and I want to see how it applies to you. So like everyone seems to remember who is the last person they hugged before like social distancing. And I'm wondering, like, since you say that like you don't necessarily love being around people too much, I wonder whether you remember.
It's a really good question. It was probably my sister, I think. Yeah.
Good last hug. Well, not last, like until now. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I'm still seeing her like a bit, but we're not hugging anymore. So but it was probably my sister.
Like I always say that it was Jess in Framework. It was one of those rebel hugs where already like social distancing was in place and it's the last day we were in Framework and I'm like, oh, come here, like we'll need this. But then yet again, like my housemates are immensely tired of me every now and then just going like, I need a hug. And they're like, dude, you're so Italian. I'm like, just come here. And like, do you know what? It's so funny.
Yeah, I did actually go to, my back's a bit screwed at the moment and I went to the physio. I found a physio that's still seeing people and human touch was, that was sorry, I've got like fruit flies flying around my house.
You did that as you said, like human touch. And I was like, okay.
No, fruit flies.
Good demonstration of human touch.
Yeah, I did. It was kind of odd and I ended up talking a lot. Like I really felt that it felt like a nice like day trip out the house and I got quite excited by it. Which was interesting because it was actually a very painful hour of my life. So
but not as painful as the rest. I get it. Like our compass of what is an interesting thing that happened during the day shifts so much.
Really does.
So much. Like the other day, the local cafe that I try to go to every day just to get a coffee and come back, it's literally I would say a minute walk from my house. Like I don't travel that far unless I want to go for a bit of a walk. Yeah. But I think they were closing down, and I bought a brownie and they gave me another one for free. And I remember like that feeling stayed with me the whole day. Oh, it was just like, oh, today's a great day. I got a free brownie. And I'm like, it's weird how your priorities change. Like,
yeah, and my sugar consumption has been really bad. That's, I'd say, the bad habit that I've picked up is like just eating sugar. That's
sugar.
Like just any kind of treats, like, yeah, just ice cream, brownies. I've had to kind of rein it in a bit, because 100 burpees a day is not going to fix that.
We're going to go to 200 and then you're going to double up your sugar intake. Like I went full Italian and my vice has been wine. I usually am a beer drinker, and I went like, you know what? I can have like 6 beers a night easily, and that's bad. So I'm going to shift to wine. And then like with wine, I have to like pace myself differently. It lasts longer. It gives you like more of a mellow, like everything will be fine kind of situation. So yeah.
I feel like that's the same. That's the same for a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people's alcohol consumption has like
skyrocketed.
Yeah. I think if you've got a job at Dan Murphy's, you're going to be like, that's kind of locked and loaded for the foreseeable future, right?
The local bottler told us like, we've never been happier. Like you guys all look miserable, but we've been very happy. We hired people. So that's pretty good. Natalie, thank you so much for doing this with us and for letting us check in on you. I feel like you're doing pretty okay.
I'm good, yeah, but I'm going to join Friday Drinks. I keep meaning to, and I've actually put it into my calendar. If I don't put it in my calendar, it doesn't happen. And I kept forgetting, so I put it in my calendar.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but it was so nice to see your face and speak to you. Same.
And I'll talk to you soon, and hopefully I will see you soon in person.
Yay!
Have a lovely day.
Bye.
Ciao.